In a remote, dusty village stood a small broken house, where a young boy named Ariv lived with his mother. Life was hard for them, but the boy's eyes always carried a shine of curiosity. Every morning he woke up with the same routine, collecting firewood, helping his mother, and carrying an old torn bag that he called his box of dreams. Ariv believed that one day life would change, but he never understood how. One evening, after a long, tiring day, Ariv sat outside his small hut, staring at the empty road. His clothes were torn, his feet were dusty, and hunger pressed against his stomach, but in his mind there was a silent question: why is my life like this? And how do people change their destiny? That night his mother told him something simple: life changes when thoughts change. Thinking is the seed. Life is the tree. He didn't fully understand, but those words remained in his heart. The next morning Ariv walked through the village, carrying firewood as usual, but this time he observed people more closely. Some people were laughing even with empty pockets, while some with money looked angry. He noticed that people with problems handled them differently. It wasn't the situation that made them different, it was their thinking. When he returned home, he looked at himself in a broken piece of mirror. If life really changes when thinking changes, maybe I should start with myself, he whispered. That day he began a small experiment. Instead of saying, I can't, he said, let me try. Instead of saying, life is unfair, he said, life is testing me. Instead of feeling poor, he felt grateful that he still had strength to work. Slowly something inside him shifted. His posture changed. His eyes became hopeful. Days passed, and one afternoon while collecting firewood, he met an old traveler resting under a tree. The traveler noticed the boy's curious eyes and asked, what do you want to become? Ariv smiled shyly. I don't know. Maybe someone better than what I am. The traveler laughed softly. Then start believing that you can. Belief changes direction. The man handed him a small book and said, read this whenever you feel lost. It will show you how powerful your mind is. Ariv took the book home and began reading. The book told stories of people who had nothing but changed everything with determination. It taught him that every thought has energy. If you think like a victim, life treats you like one. If you think like a fighter, life gives you battles you can win. As days turned into months, that one book began shaping the young boy's world. He started waking up earlier, planning his day, learning new things from anyone willing to teach. People laughed at him. Dreams? From a boy who doesn't even have proper clothes? But Ariv didn't stop. Instead, he changed the meaning of their laughter. Instead of thinking, they are insulting me, he thought, they don't know what I'm becoming. His thinking changed his reactions, and his reactions changed his journey. Time passed. He saved money from small village chores. Every single coin went into building himself. He bought used books, old school notes, and sometimes even paid a traveling teacher to teach him just one chapter. When others rested, he studied. When others mocked him, he improved silently. One day, a man from the city visited the village to hire workers. Ariv approached him confidently and asked for work. The man looked at the skinny boy and said, work? You're too young. But Ariv replied, I may be young, but I learn fast, work hard, and never give up. Try me once. Something in his voice was different, strong, clear, and determined. The man agreed. For the first time, Ariv stepped into a city. Tall buildings, crowded roads, and people rushing everywhere. It felt like a new universe. But he wasn't scared. He was excited. He worked as a helper in a small shop, earning little but learning a lot. He observed how people talked, how business worked, and how successful people behaved. He noticed that the biggest difference wasn't money, it was mindset. Rich people thought in possibilities. Poor people thought in limitations. And at that moment, Ariv decided, I will think in possibilities. Slowly, the shop owner noticed him. Arif's honesty, focus, and eagerness to learn impressed him. One evening the owner said, "I want to teach you business." This sentence changed everything. Within months, Arif learned accounting, sales, communication, and planning. His confidence grew. His mind became sharp. His dreams became clear. Years passed. The boy who once carried firewood now carried ideas. The boy who once lived in a broken hut now lived in a rented room near the shop. The boy who once questioned destiny now shaped his own. But life wasn't done testing him. One day the shop owner fell ill and had to close the business temporarily. Everyone around Arif panicked. They said, "Your job is gone. What will you do now?" But Arif didn't panic. His thinking had changed over the years. Instead of saying, "Why me?" he said, "What is this trying to teach me?" Instead of fearing the loss, he saw an opportunity. With the savings he had collected over years, he decided to start a small service repairing and delivering goods for people. At first it was difficult. Some clients didn't trust him. Some didn't pay on time. Some criticized him. But he remained calm. Every failure became a lesson. Every lesson became growth. Every bit of growth became progress. One day a businessman saw him working tirelessly and offered him a partnership. That partnership became his stepping stone into the business world. Within a few years, Arif became the owner of multiple shops, then a small company, then a growing business. The same boy who once stood barefoot in a dusty village now walked confidently in a suit, carrying a briefcase, entering his own office. But he never forgot the truth. Everything began the day he changed his thinking. One morning he returned to his village after many years. Children ran behind his car, villagers gathered in surprise, and his mother cried seeing how far he had come. Arif stood in front of his old hut, the place where he once sat as a poor helpless child. And he whispered to himself, "Life didn't change first. My thinking did." He gathered the village children, held up the same old book the traveler had once given him, and said, "If you change your thoughts, your life will change itself." I am living proof. The story of Arif reminds us that no matter how tough your surroundings are, no matter how little you have, no matter how slow your progress feels, your thinking holds the key. Change your thoughts and you change your path. Change your path and you change your destiny. Life doesn't transform in one day, but it transforms slowly, silently, and beautifully when your mind is ready. Because mindset is the mirror that shows who you can truly become. And once that mirror changes, the world reflected in it changes too.